Now, this is probably the most important thing you want to know, is how do I know if I have cancer? So we can determine everyone in here if they have cancer by relatively easy methods. So do you know that from one cancer cell to tumor formation, how long do you think it takes? 12? 8? 9? It's about 10 years, give or take, all right? So what does that mean? That means you have 9 years of health opportunity to figure out if you have cancer. Health is a secret because they all want us dependent on the system. But like everyone has said this weekend, is that you have the doctor within to take care of you. And now that we're living in the world of outrageous information, you know, on YouTube you can find out anything. You could just read on anything and partner with a doctor who is an integrative doctor who truly understands all the different methodologies that can be involved. Now, I hear this every day. The patient has a little lump and they say, oh, you're cancer-free and cured. So how can a 10-year problem be reversed in an hour lumpectomy? There's no one-night wonder. I promise you. As Dr. Terry said, the body is miraculously and wonderfully made. It is not that simple. Why do doctors need to go to medical school for 4 years if it's that simple? So have you heard about circulating tumor cells? Have you heard about circulating tumor cells? Okay, good. So circulating tumor cells are the future of oncology. Let's pretend for a moment right now that you have never gone to the doctor. Today, you could do what we call a liquid biopsy that will determine if you have circulating tumor cells. Let's pretend you have no bumps, no lumps. You feel incredible. Because so many patients tell me, Dr. Connealy, I've eaten perfect my whole life. I've done everything perfectly. How could I have cancer? I hear this all the time. But I tell people, we don't live in a bubble. We are influenced by everything around us. And I always tell people that we are all made up of like concentric rings of a tree. They have found out through Harvard research studies that the most traumatic time is the time in utero up to 5 years. Do you remember what happened to you at 3 years old? No, you don't know. So they found out that trauma has created unresolved emotional conflict in a person that needs to be resolved with proper interventions. Please listen to Dr. Cowden. Dr. Cowden is a very good friend of mine for over 20 years. Dr. Motley, they all talk about the mind and the emotion and the spirit and how it relates to disease, not just cancer, but all medical problems. So testing. So of course, you can do comprehensive blood testing. I talked about the liquid biopsies. Sometimes, you guys, we have to do scans. Are they dangerous and cancer-causing? Yes, but in our office, we prepare you with the proper nutrients so the scans do not damage you. Acupuncture meridian assessment, and you've heard about breast thermography. So CRP, you've heard Dr. Harmon talk about. It's a marker for inflammation. You can order it anywhere, anyhow, on your own. If it's not less than 1, there's something wrong. It's the red light on the dashboard of your car telling you there is something wrong. HCG is a well-known hormone of malignancy. You can order it any routine lab. And then hemoglobin A1C. Hemoglobin A1C is a reflection of your blood sugar over 90 days. If you have high sugar, you're feeding cancer cells, and you're weakening the body on every single level. So we do not want that. This is a blood test performed by American Metabolic Laboratories. I've used this for probably over 10 years. It's a fasting blood and urine test. It will also tell me if I have an environment for cancer or if something's going on. This is the lab that I use primarily, RGCC. It's a laboratory in Greece. They have been around for about 15 years. They are in 14 countries. I have personally visited RGCC lab to just meet with the head of RGCC, which is Dr. Pepitsaru. If you have circulating tumor cells in the liquid biopsy, you definitely have something going on with a 99% accuracy rate. So it's very, very high. It's a very inexpensive test. It's about $500, but it tells you yes or no with pretty good accuracy. That's in our office, that's not the only thing that we do. We will do that with other parameters that I've already discussed. Now, RGCC has a complete array of menu of test options because it tests all the markers, all the chemo, all the natural substances, all the new drugs, the Opdivo, the small molecular weight molecules, estrogen blockers, testosterone blockers. So it will give me a roadmap how I'm going to take care of the patient and the identifying features that are in that patient's profile. It will give us a roadmap. I tell people, in today's world, we do not need to guess. We test and we know. And not everybody likes to test. But I will tell you, for your own mental intelligence, it gives you feedback on what's going on instead of guessing. So we use RGCC. I've been using this laboratory for about, maybe 8 years, 9 years now. So it is, I tell people, if I sent your cholesterol to 10 labs, how many different values would I get? 10, exactly. Now, the Bio-meridian survey is a assessment of your biofield. You have acupuncture points on your fingers and toes that correspond to every organ in your body. And this was discovered by the Chinese over 5,000 years ago. And there's about 500 points, but the technician looks at about 50, and they will notice where the healing blocks are in the body. And so if you have healing blocks, that means there is imbalance in that system that we need to take care of. Just like when they do EEG of your head or an EKG of your body, that's an assessment of the biofield of your body. I have personally, my whole life is how not to get cancer. So this is something that I started employing 22 years ago. It was based upon the science of Reinhold Voll. Dr. Voll was a physicist and a medical doctor from Germany who taught this by hand in the 60s. And now we have utilized it today and computerized it. Breast thermography is one assessment tool for the breast. The breasts are not to be vascular. They are to be, you see on the left, they're nice and without vascularity. Of course, we do ultrasounds. Sometimes we do MRIs. Sometimes we do mammograms. We do all kinds of different things to assess the body because you have to triple check yourself to make sure. I always mention him. Dr. Kelly wrote the book, One Answer to Cancer. You can read about it online. He had stage 4 pancreatic cancer and cured himself. I would highly recommend anyone because it gives you great information. And he always said, these are some of the signs that doctors miss when they're treating a patient and when they possibly may have cancer. So your eyesight, maybe indigestion, chronic fatigue, brain fog, hair loss, hernia. Whenever I have a hernia patient, the first thing I do is I go look for cancer. So Dr. the late Nick Gonzalez, who worked in New York and used lots of pancreatic enzymes and coffee enemas, and his wife Mary and I are good friends, and he studied with Dr. Kelly. And so I've studied with Dr. Kelly and utilized the pearls that he had in his treatment protocol. Integrative medicine is the new modern medicine. It's utilizing everything we've known for thousands of years, whether it's herbs, whether it's nutrition, whatever. So it's a combination of all different forces and sources of information, and it addresses the whole body.